Hello YouTube, this is Bowley's, and I don't know how good you're seeing this, but this is my first turkey that I ever killed. This is a stone cold Tom Gobbler. I hope you can see that good. Feet, big spurs, 1.8" spurs, 10-inch beard, 10.5 inch I believe. Anyway, I just mounted that yesterday and I wanted to show it to you. Tell you the story about Stone Cold. The reason we call him Stone Cold, he was a turkey that had been spotted by a friend of mine traversing a certain green patch of field every morning. And so I set up on that patch of field. I had on my camo gear. It's a pretty wide open field. I was actually sitting between just a small tree, almost like a lawn. A guy just sowed it down in some grass, gonna pasture some cattle over there. But anyway, him and his hens crossed the field every day, and so I set out some decoys and got behind a little tree, and when I watched him come, he started. I just barely got there at the crack of daylight. In fact, I arrived there just about 3 or 4 minutes before the turkeys did, and it's just a miracle that they didn't spot me, because they would never come in. But anyway, I hit the call a few times, and I heard one gobble, and it was this turkey here, and he came down the hill. I watched him from about 200 yards walk down the hill directly toward me, and there's a big wide open area with just walking actually like a country, like a little lane, and he walked all the way down the hill, and he came toward me, and I was twisted around. I had to shoot. He's coming from my rear. I thought he came from the other side, so I was facing the other way. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I was in a bad position to shoot. He walked within probably 20 feet of me, and of course I had the turkey choke, long barrel, 3-inch magnums I was firing, and he got within about 20 feet of me, and he saw my decoy, stuck his head up, and of course I took a shot at his head from 20 feet, and I missed. Yes, that's right, I missed. I thought about it later, and I realized that at that close range with that large shot load and the turkey choke and the long barrel turkey barrel, that I realized that actually at that range it was more like shooting a bullet than shooting a shotgun. It was more like the shot pattern couldn't have been over that big when it went by his head. And you know, when you fire a shotgun, you don't worry so much about accuracy. You just try to get close, and the shot pattern will spread. But I never realized that at that distance it was more like shooting a bullet, so I missed him. Well, he flew straight up in the air, and he was looking down at my decoys. He never paid any attention to me at all. And of course I jacked another shell in the chamber, and he landed just a little bit away from the decoys. And then of course I was swinging my gun around on him, and he took off running, and I was getting ready to do a rabbit shot on him with his head, and all of a sudden he stopped and he stuck his head up, and of course by now he was about 35-40 yards, and of course I took careful aim this time, and I put him down. I knew that at that range he was probably not hit too hard and would flop on down the hill, so I jumped up running over toward him. It was a titanic struggle as he started running down the hill and flopping and dragging his head along behind him, and he couldn't do very well. But I finally outpaced him, got in front of him, and turned, and he came down the hill into my lap, really. And when he got right at my feet, I just fell on him with my knees, grabbed his neck, and began twisting his neck, and finally got him killed. But it was my first turkey, and first time I'd really taken my turkey hunting seriously was this year, and so I was just glad to get him landed. And I thought I'd just share it with the world. The Stone Cold, I named him Stone Cold. Around here, my friends and I, we name all of our game victories, especially our large ones. Anyone kills a large buck deer, he'll get a name. And this one, because of the wrestling match that we had after the shot, a friend of mine that was with me that day called, or well, I saw him later that day. He said he named him the Stone Cold Tom Gobbler. And so this is the Stone Cold Tom Gobbler. He was taken out of Burning Springs, Kentucky, and had a great time. Later on in the season, I killed another gobbler, and so I was able to max out this year. We're allowed 2 turkeys in the spring, and I killed another gobbler who was even a little bit larger than this one, and had another little fight with him, but he was the get her done gobbler. Actually, 2 gobblers came in that morning. It was the last Saturday morning of the season, and I was able to call in 2 gobblers, and got shot at one, get her done, which I may show his mount later on. I just wanted to share that with you. Thanks.